Hey, is getting funding for your nonprofit burning and stressing you out? I get it. I'm Vanessa Lindsay, and if you're here, chances are you have a heart for making a difference, and maybe a big dream for starting or building your own nonprofit, or maybe you are building your nonprofit, but it's always a constant getting that funding. But maybe you are just at a place where you're passionate about helping kids, saving animals, or making your community a better place. That's what we all want to see. Most of us want to see, right? And that's why we get into this nonprofit world. But you might feel so stuck. Maybe you've hit a wall with your funding, or you're worrying that you can't really get started until you have enough money. We hear seed money, seed money. I need to get some seed money. Where is that seed money, right? If that's you, trust me, you are not alone. Today, we're going to talk about moving through those obstacles, how to focus on your journey, not just the outcome, and how you can actually start fundraising right now. If you have your 501c3, if you don't have your 501c3, if you had it, even if you're starting from scratch, where we're talking about a concept, from concept to funding. So if you're watching live, jump in the chat and tell me, what's your nonprofit's dream? And if you're watching the recording, also do the same. Type in there, what's your nonprofit dream? And then also type in there, what's holding you back? Because we need to support each other. And this is real. That's one of the reasons why I do what I do, and I reach out to nonprofits, because I know that as I was starting and building my nonprofit, there wasn't really much support. And sometimes we're out here and we're just building and we're like, man, this is hard. Where do I go to? I need some support. Okay. But let's get honest for a second. So many of us have that spark. We feel called to do something meaningful, but then life, it gets in the way. There's bills, there's times, there's doubt, there's fear of rejection, or maybe you've tried to get funding and hit a big no. No, no. You feel like you're a little kid that's always hearing no, 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 no. And you know what? Sometimes we get so attached to the perfect outcome that we actually paralyze ourselves from starting at all. Maybe you're worried about failing, or you feel overwhelmed by all the things you should be doing to get your nonprofit off the ground. Do you ever just say, I got to do this, I got to do that? I want to, and you're looking at the end goal. It's so easy to focus on the end goal because that's our passion. It's like, oh, I want to help the nonprofits. I want to do this, and I want to help mothers and kids. And so we look at that. The big goal is the successful nonprofit, the big building, the full bank account. And we forget that every journey starts with a simple, imperfect step. Let me repeat that. Imperfect step, because sometimes we want to get out there, we want to be perfect, we want to look perfect, and we want to sound perfect, and we want to act perfect, right? I understand. And you know what? Sometimes we get so attached to that we don't get anything done. We say, if I can do it big, maybe I shouldn't do it at all. If I can't do it big, if I go big or go home, right? Not necessarily. But what if you let go of the outcome for a minute, just for a minute, and instead just do what we can with what we have right now? Do what we can with what we have right now. Think about it. What do I have right now? Right? So I want you to do me a favor. I want you to take a deep breath and imagine something. What if you could just start right where you are without knowing exactly how it's going to work out? Okay. What if your goal wasn't to raise $100,000 tomorrow, but just to take the next right step, just to take that one step? Okay. I've seen this over and over again, and trust me, I've done it over and over again. With all the different businesses I start, is that, and I see this a lot, some of them, and I did it, some of the most impactful nonprofits start tiny. They start really tiny. We start in our garage, in our kitchens, with some borrowed space, or just a Facebook page. Almost always, the founders didn't have the big money figured out in advance. They just started. Now, we know we have some people who have the money to get started, but there's still a lot of things to do with, running your nonprofit, okay? And so honestly, sometimes the biggest magic happens on the journey. Don't forget about the journey. You learn, you connect, and you get creative. And that's what you have to do. You have to learn. You got to connect. I always say connect with someone, right? And you have to build relationships. And those things are not just the money, are what build a thriving nonprofit in the long run. Those connections, those relationships, getting creative, because we're visionaries, right? Okay. So, all right, I know you're like, she's going on. I know. All right, let's get to the practical part. If you want to build your nonprofit, you're going to need resources. And the best way to learn is to try, not just to plan. We got to plan. Oh, I got to plan it out. I got to get all this stuff planned out. Sometimes the best laid plans are for mice, right? That's what how they say it. So today I'm going to give you permission to start with a simple, low-hanging fruit, okay? The simple low-hanging fruit fundraiser I want you to start with. You don't need a huge team. You don't need fancy tech. You don't need a massive audience. You just need a bit of courage and a willingness to ask. And you're like, yep, she's going to ask us to ask for our friends and family. Yes, I am, but we're going to do it a different way this time, okay? So I'm going to give you a couple of tried and true fundraising ideas that can literally launch this month, even this week. You're like, oh, and guess what? Starting is the thing. It's starting. Forget about the outcome. If I start, I might not get that 500. If I start, I might not get that 1,000. I run courses, and I'm thinking, what if people don't show up? That's okay. I'm not going to think about what the end goal is. I'm going to just start right now and let the momentum build. Okay. So what I want you to do now is I want you to think about the people who already know and trust you. They're your friends, your family, your neighbors, your colleagues. I know you're like, I've heard this 1,000 times. Okay, but I'm going to tell you how to reach out to them easier. Reach out to them with a personal message. Personal. Tell them about your dream, what you want to do, and why you're asking for help. So it will go something like this. I'm launching a new project to help children for an after-school program. My goal was to raise $500 to get started to be able to give them toiletries. Would you be willing to support with $10 or even 20? Every bit helps. You'll be amazed how quickly this can add up. And it's confidence booster to you, especially because you get to ask your friends and families first, right? And so it's building your confidence for when you step up there and you start asking strangers, and then you get an opportunity to refine your ask. And if your friends and family tell you, girl, I don't have that money, then you just laugh and say, okay. Or you can be like, girl, you got $10. Go ahead, you could give me $10. Or you could even go ahead and ask them, so what did you think about my pitch to you, and what I'm doing, okay? So when you ask them, use your own voice, make it heartfelt, right? And then follow with the thank you and updates. Remember you gave me that $10? This is what we do it with it. Or remember you gave me that $10 because my goal was to reach 500. This is where I'm at so far. And I want you to do this. I want you to celebrate every dollar. It counts. When somebody gives you 10, it's like, woohoo, thank you. Thank you. That is so exciting. And then at the end of the day, don't be talking about, oh, I only made $10 today. Be like, we got $10 today. That is good. What could be better than this? Okay. Put it out there in the universe. What could be better than this? Okay. That's the first idea. Now, the second fundraising idea is to do a pop-up event. Host a simple event. It could be virtual or it can be in person. Think about a bake sale, a car wash, a trivia night, even a coffee or cause, right? Go to a local cafe and do a coffee and cause and just invite people. This way and then you guys can talk, keep it really low. Don't overcomplicate it. That's the key, is don't overcomplicate it, because we get so overwhelmed. You keep the cost low, you focus on bringing people together, and then tell your story, right? And some of the examples of things that you can do is maybe other than a coffee and cause, host soup and stories night, right? Invite people to bring in some soup, share about your nonprofit, and then pass the hat around for the donations. And then you can organize a walk for your cause, set a date, ask friends to join, get sponsors for each mile walked. And that could be virtual. And then you can have a movie night. Go ahead and choose an interesting documentary or something that really talks about who you're serving, and invite them to join you via Zoom and ask for a donation. You'll be amazed that people will be willing to donate to your organization. And then here's a tip for you. Partner with local businesses for donated goods or space. Many giving easy. They don't mind giving you. They can give on Cash App. They'll give it to you on Vimeo. They'll tell you to come in and they'll like, look, we're going to have this basket here. You can come pick it up. One of the things we used to do is there was a restaurant called Laboo, and every morning they would leave their danishes aside for us, and we come pick them up so we can give them to our clients. So really start small. And then whatever you decide to do, share your photos and stories. Share them before, share them during, and share them after the event. One of the things I did, I'm going to pop this up real quick and show you this. One of the things I used to do is, you see this right here? This is the world's finest chocolate. And so one of the things that I would do with this world's finest chocolate is I would have a box. I would sell these. They were about that big back in the day. Not right now. They're really tiny, but I'm sure they're just as delicious. But I took them everywhere I went. Everybody loved chocolate. And I had 3 or 4 different flavors. And I would go to a meeting in the community and boop, I'd have my chocolate. When you're in a meeting, by the end of the meeting, people are going to grab this chocolate, right? After lunch, people are going to grab this chocolate. Take it with you. Sell your chocolate. Give it to your friends and family, okay? So if you're on social media and you have a platform, announce your nonprofit's mission, share your why, and set a small specific fundraising goal. Okay. You want to use your photos, videos, and stories to really make it real so you can really connect with people. Okay. So say for instance, you can go on there, you can say, my goal is to raise $300 this weekend to buy supplies for our first literacy kits, right? Can you help? So, and every $10 puts books in the hands of a child. Okay. Feeds a child. Every $10 feeds a child. Okay. So you can do this on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn. Okay. So your tips is go live. Like I'm doing now, going live, or you can record a quick video and make it personal, and share your progress when you're halfway there. Like it's like the other form is, hey, I'm halfway there. We're almost there. Let's go. Okay. And thank and tag your supporters publicly. Thank you for supporting our cause. I want to pause here and say, you don't need to be perfect. You do not need to have all the answers. What matters is you begin. I do this a lot. I'm just out here. I'm not one that likes to be on social media, but it's like, come on, let's get out here and just do that small thing, okay? Because for you, every dollar raised, every conversation had, every connection made, that's for momentum. And even if your first fundraiser is small or it feels awkward or it doesn't meet your original goals, you've taken a real step, and that's something to celebrate about. I'm celebrating you because I know you're going to do it. So remember, you're building trust, you're learning what works, and you're planting seeds for bigger things. Some fundraisers will flop. Some will fly, right? So sometimes you got to have those flops to have those flies, and some might just be like, whoo. But every step is building your dream. Don't stop building your dream, okay? So let's reframe what success looks like. Maybe you set out to raise $1,000 and you raised 150. Guess what? That's 150 more than you had yesterday, right? That's proof that your idea can move people, that your mission matters, and that you are in motion. So the real outcome isn't about hitting a number. It's about starting. It's about learning. It's about connecting and laying the groundwork for your nonprofit's future. So are you ready to start? Pick one small fundraiser, set a date, and take the next step, okay? The world needs your passion. The world needs what's been put into your heart to do, and it needs your willingness to try, okay? And remember, you don't have to do it alone. Share your questions, your ideas, and your whims, and even your flops within our community. We have a community for nonprofits. So go ahead and share that in there because we are cheering you on. We're supporting you. And guess what? We're also going to do some accountability, okay? You set a goal. Let's help you get there. Sometimes we need that support. So if you need help brainstorming ideas, type help in the chat and let's brainstorm together, or join me in my live Q&A sessions following this event. I have a live Q&A sessions. So I'm going to stick my banner up here, okay? And you can go ahead and click that and you can join me. So I want to thank you so much for joining, for listening. I cannot wait to see what you're building, one small brave step at a time. Okay, now let's go. Let's get out there and let's raise some money. Let's get our nonprofits out into the world and help the people that we have set out to help. The world needs you. And until next time, peace.